quick and dirty update on both NIO stock as well as SEP Health. For both of the companies I have some important, well, I believe important information to share, so watch it till the very end. But before I start and jump into the company news, guys, I can see that only 17% of you have actually activated the notifications for this channel, and only 12.5% all notifications for this channel. Just as a reminder, this way you will miss out on some of the content, because YouTube will not always bring my videos to the front page, and so you may miss out on some of the latest content that I share. So please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and if you like the content, please also smash a like. Now straight into the company news for NIO, and I've just shared it with my patrons in the community already. It's about the NIO Park. And you can see the man Li Bin himself, he's checking here on the development and progress of the park. But it's not only him, it is also some members of the standing committee of the provincial party committee and the secretary of the municipal party committee, in short, politicians that are attending the event and looking that everything is going fine. And as you can see in this video, the first pillars are already in the ground, so they have done the level groundwork already, and now they're putting in the steel structure. And the article that I found, which was already all in Chinese, and it's by some Hefei official government WeChat page that I found, well, they said that in the 2 months after the construction, already 40% of the steel structure processing has been done. Well, it doesn't look like it's entirely 40%, but what do I know about this? And then 15% of the first phase of the park have already been completed. So just as a reminder, the NIO Park is massive. It's 1 million capacity for production, but not only that, the whole area is bigger, much bigger, for instance, than Tesla's Fremont factory, because there will be also more suppliers and additional industry clusters at this park. So it's not only all about the new plant and the manufacturing, it's also about more like, well, for NIO always about lifestyle. They will have a big NIO house, and they will have events and adventure activities there, and so on. So yeah, it's going to be a big place, and so therefore it will take some time. But on the timing, some interesting insights here, which are that that the construction is expected to be completed in March next year already, and that the first NIOs will actually roll off the assembly line by September next year. So that's roughly 1 year plus minus 3 months where we should see the finished buildings. Of course, only the first buildings, but of course the focus will be here for the factory, the plant, which is putting out the vehicles. And then this will actually help to give a nice boost to NIO's capacity of producing cars for the crucial quarters next year, Q3 and Q4, because once again, it's cyclical. Expect less sales in Q1 and Q2, and then a ramp towards the end of the year. So that should come in handy here with this new capacity. And also one interesting insight, once again, is here that Volkswagen is named explicitly that they will also move to the park. So possibly they will use some of the suppliers in the field as well. So of course, Volkswagen has also a relationship with JAC, so that's the partner for NIO, and possibly they also want to use some of this infrastructure provided on the ground. So we shouldn't expect that they kind of start partnering up or something like this, but obviously you can see that this will be a whole automotive cluster with much more than only NIO. That's of course the sheer size of this industry park that is to be expected here. All right, next topic is SEP Health, and in yesterday's video I've mentioned and talked mostly about the cyclical or seasonal pattern of SEP Health, and that we may expect a ramp in the share price. And now here are also some interesting new developments that I like to share. And that has to do with Yitong, which is an acquisition by SEP. They have acquired roughly 30% of the stake, which is a minority stake, but the controller of the companies and the board is now Huang Wang, which is the founder and CEO of SEP Health. They have now also board members by Baidu and by other Chinese tech companies. And the problem is we never really knew what will SEP Health actually do with this company, because they are just a manufacturer of some old TV equipment, it seems. But recently I shared some news in the Patreon community that SEP Health is giving the licenses out to this company company in order that they can actually produce wearables on license for others as well. So it turns out that Yitong might be maybe used as a new production facility for chips, for wearables, and maybe also for the medical devices. As I talked about this in this channel before, SAP Health is also looking to get into the industrial medical sector. And now here we have some interesting other additional news. And I also found this once again in Chinese. I haven't seen it anywhere else because it's not aligned with actually official SAP Health news, because it's just published with Yitong Technology, with actually a Shenzhen listed company, so mainland China listed company, so they also have to disclose such kind of information. And the news is that this company, they also have a wholly owned subsidiary called Hefei Whale Microelectronics, so that might be some weird Chinese translation here, and they have partnered with Hyundai Motor R&D Center here in China and signed an official cooperation agreement that both parties will voluntarily choose to establish a partnership to realize resource sharing, developing together. And a subsidiary of Yitong, which is technically a subsidiary of SAP Health, then will be mainly responsible for the design of the chips and the modules and the R&D and the 2B, so the business to business external cooperation. And the two parties want to jointly evaluate and develop commercial technologies based on smart wearable projects. And they want to bring those smart wearables into the topic of driver health management. So using smart wearables, so they want to use the smart wearables, for instance, for smart cockpit interaction applications, and possibly further want to explore some new wearables applications in the automotive industry. So this is super interesting because of many different areas. First, we now understand better what SAP Health is actually up to using Yitong Technologies for. So now this acquisition is beginning to make more and more sense. Second, it seems to be a leap of wearables into applications in the automotive area, which is now connected to smart cars. And as we know, with EVs, smart cars are quite sexy for investors. So more and more people are looking to explore those opportunities. For instance, I know that German car companies are researching, for instance, how the cell phone can be used in order to track accidents and also connect that with insurances. And that is actually the next big point. My proposition is that SAP Health at some point will actually venture into insurances with all the big data which are collecting on the health side for sports activities, but also normal activities, and then maybe come up with a cheaper or more focused new insurance that is based on actual algorithms and health data. Now that would be more towards maybe life insurance, health insurance, but with this new progress, it now seems that this could also be a leap into car and automotive insurances, where you can, for instance, have better clues about how an accident happened, if you have like the acceleration, how it happened, the location, the exact location of a person and stuff like that. So I know that other automotive companies are actually working on that using biometrics within the car. So maybe that's also about gestures and how you can, for instance, open the car, then you get into the car, then you have, as soon as you get into the car, you have the personal driver profile connected to it. So for instance, your seat will adjust to it. And then while driving, it could also be about safety. For instance, if someone gets a heart attack while driving and something like that, this is where wearables can come in handy. So this is under the radar currently because this is not published by SAP Health. But it's certainly coming from the strategy and the agenda from SAP Health here. So it's worth watching this one closely. And I think this just adds into the long-term picture of what SAP Health could be ultimately. I know this stock has some turbulences, up and downs. And if the seasonal pattern holds true, then it will just stay like that. But the bigger picture here that I'm trying to bring across on this channel is that SAP is positioned really well in many of these different areas. And at some point, if they manage to transition from just a manufacturer of wearables to a more technological oriented company that makes use of those data that they collect, and then they build services, recurring revenue streams on top of that, then the valuation will be out of this world in my views. Anyways, these are the updates for the two companies. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.